All right, today I'm going to talk about the Google Maps Playbook for paving companies. And this is part of our accelerated growth model where we teach that the best way to grow your business is to start. If you're going to get customers, first you have to drive leads. And so that's where everything starts. And then once you drive leads through various methods, you want to maximize your conversion rate, which means get the most number of customers out of those leads, leads out of traffic, the various different conversion rates that there are. So the third part of that is when you look at optimizing results. And so you see what your ROI is on different channels, and then you go back to drive more leads, taking what you've learned from the process. And so it's this iterative process that over time gets you more and better results at a higher ROI. And that's how you want to approach growing your business online. And so there's various factors to each part of this. And today we're going to hone in on some of the organic part, which is, um, you know, various things, SEO, and we're going to specifically talk about maps today. All this kind of goes under what we call our digital dominance method. And, you know, whatever you're doing online right now, you may not be doing all of this, but eventually you're going to want to be doing all of this because different customers search for vendors or partners or whatever you want to call it in different ways. And so you need to be doing all of these things. And if you're not, that's okay. You just get there one step at a time. And then for this year, the new one that I've changed a little bit and I've added AI because there were huge changes in AI related things in 2024. In 2025, it's going to be even bigger. And so I'm going to be talking a lot about that this year. And um, it's already a player. It's going to become an even bigger player. It's going to be a part of everything that you do online eventually, and probably sooner than you think. So we're going to talk a lot about that this year. Today we're going to hone in on maps. We're going to talk about the latest updates with the Google Map listings, the biggest issues that could be preventing you from ranking. Oh, my camera goes nuts. Our proven model for ranking in the three pack, and then just some of the best tools that you can use to help you with this. Why should you listen to me? We're members of NAPA. I've written the book Online Marketing for Paving Companies. I run Paving Marketers, where we've worked with dozens of paving companies to help them with these things. And I've been doing this for, almost 14 years, something like that, since 2011. And still own the original marketing company. We've been doing this a long time. We've seen a lot. We've seen a lot. We've seen things change a lot, and we've learned along the way, and we pass along those learnings to our customers. Like I said, we work with dozens of paving clients. We've got excellent testimonials from customers who've been with us for several years, and just you know, lots of comments, lots of feedback that says we know what we're doing. So, without further ado, do Google Maps matter? And depending on the study that you look at, you get different numbers. But this one that we're using here, um, about 44% of the clicks and the calls go to these results here on Maps. And so this really, and I don't think I have the numbers in this presentation, but when we look at where the leads come from in our client base, around 35% of the leads come from Maps. So, and it's the number one source. Google Ads was next to like 33, and then other things kind of fill out the rest. But between this and Google Ads, the vast majority of your leads are coming from these two spots. So you've got to focus in on these, you've got to dial these in, and you've got to get them right. And so the answer is yes, Google Maps do matter. And they matter in this way. Um, with your Google Business Profile, you're going to get a certain distance from your location, generally your business address. And that's where you have an advantage in the maps, where if you do things right and you have the right signals, you're going to end up in this map pack. And therefore, you'll be harvesting these calls and these clicks and the jobs that come from those. So it's extremely important. And that leads directly to, like I said, phone calls and estimates and jobs for growing your business. So, yes, Google Maps drives calls. You can't rely on pay-per-click alone, but you also should ignore pay-per-click. But that's not the discussion for today. So we'll talk a little bit about the biggest changes, and I kept the slide the same um, from last year because not a whole lot has changed on the surface. The biggest change there was they just reduced it to three. Really, across platforms, you're seeing three, and they introduced ads. Okay, and we've seen them stick with that, and we're seeing more ads, and so the search results are basically what they were. So you're still seeing this, certain queries, not so much in paving, but sometimes you'll see these more on like if you do like hardscapes, right? If you do like pavers, for example, you might run into these Google guaranteed results, but generally for asphalt stuff, you're not seeing it yet. Don't know when they'll bring that. I'd love it if they would, but we're not seeing that yet. But so you're still dealing with the same basic search result, which is in some cases the Google guarantee, generally then ads, then maps, and then all the other stuff, right? So those three maps results are doing a lot of heavy lifting, and you really have to compete for those effectively. Okay. And so, and this is just saying also, things like Yelp. It shouldn't say Yext, it should say Yelp there. And Angie, right? Like these other kind of third party sites. We have one now called Paving List, which you can get on there. We're trying to rank for paving near me. We're building it up over time. So basically, get in all the spaces that you can, get ads, get maps, get your site ranked, get on the third party sites that you can. That's how you do things. Okay. And specifically focusing on maps, let's just talk about that for the rest of the presentation here. This is going to be a long one today. Just want to hit the main points and just kind of set you up to do what you can do to get better results yourself. So Google has said that they've reduced Google, fake Google Maps listings by 70% since 2015. It has never been a huge problem in the paving space. There's been some bad actors. There are other industries where it's been a serious problem. Um, the impact, though, and I just saw it today, one of our customers got their Google Business Profile suspended for deceptive content. Nothing changed. And there's nothing deceptive about it. It just Google has been kind of a hair trigger on Google Business Profiles. It's exceptionally annoying. Their customer service is atrocious, if you can even interact with it, and it's just they're a real pain to deal with. And so while it's a good thing that they've reduced spam, what they have not reduced is their ham-handed approach to dealing with things, and the impossibility of getting to fix anything in a timely manner. So you want to avoid that as much as you can. So how do you do that? Don't do anything spammy. Don't buy reviews. Don't stuff keywords in your name. Keep your name real. Have it match your documents. Your business documents. Um, we increasingly recommend not using a service area business, but getting an actual address. There is a definite proximity advantage in the maps. If you don't have that, it is hurting your ability to rank. And do you have enough reviews? That's compared to other industries, traditionally been a little bit of a challenge for paving companies because the more, you just generally don't do as many jobs as like the smaller stuff, like the electricians or the garage door repair guys or the plumbers, where they're smaller jobs that might do a couple jobs a day. Generally you're not doing that in paving. You're doing bigger jobs that take longer, and so you just have less chances to get reviews. And so, you really have to fight for those reviews that you have, and it's really important that you do so. If you don't have enough reviews, you're hurting your maps rankings, and you're hurting, if you're a customer, our ability to help you expand that. Reviews really are the fuel of maps, and you just got to get after them. So, the proven formula for getting ranked in a three pack is very simple. You need to correctly optimize your Google Business Profile. You need to get as many reviews as you can. You need to fill your site with local relevant content. And you need to have kind of the third party signals that indicate that you're a real company. And those are the citations, the local, and name, address, phone type of links. Okay. So what these do is they send trust signals. So reviews are a trust signal if they're legitimate and not spammy or bought. Links send it, especially local links. Uh, things like your brand, engaging with your Google Business Profile, so posting photos, posting images, things like that. Um, there anything that can show that you are a real company with a real location, with real people, with real authority, those are trust signals. And that is one of the strongest drivers now of Google Maps results. And so, any place you can do that, and we'll talk a little bit about various ways you can, you want to do that. It's going to help you. One of those ways is local links. So, here, think of like authoritative links in your area that are specifically local. The best example is probably a Chamber of Commerce link. You always want to have that. But you can do things like, sponsoring a little league team, or hosting a local community event, or create a local resource page. Having a scholarship. You have to be careful with scholarships. There's been some spammy stuff around those. I don't necessarily recommend those anymore, just for that reason. Unless you just want to do it, for the sake of doing it. It's a good thing to do. But even like going on like the local news shows, they do their paid like sponsored, you know, be interviewed on TV things, but you get good video out of it, you get links. So anything that you can do to get local links from sites that are known to be authoritative in your market is going to help you in your maps, because it's establishing your local authority, and Google likes that. It wants to trust you, and if it trusts you, it's going to show you more. And that's what it boils down to. And same thing goes for when you optimize your Google Business Profile listing. So you need to make sure that it matches the name on your documents. If you're doing a DBA, for example, if your actual business or your LLC or however you have it organized is in one name, and you're doing business as is another name, you're going to want to register that DBA with your state and have documents for that in case you need to verify your Google Business Profile. Because if those don't match, you will get suspended, or your verification will fail. Uh, and so you need it to be accurate, and fill it out consistently, and list your hours of operation. So one thing that we've noticed is your maps rankings are directly correlated with your hours. We've run GeoGrid reports, kind of early in the morning in a time zone where it's even earlier in the morning, where they're not open yet and they don't show up in the maps. And so when it says you're closed, Google knows that, and it doesn't want to show you to customers who are searching. So you want to find a way to be open 24/7. And now you can get an answering service to do that. We are now running an AI answering service where it'll answer the phone. It'll take your name and phone number. It'll take your message basically, and just like an answering service would, and it will relay that to us in email. And so we're able to, if we want, um, set our hours to be 24/7, because we can take calls 24/7, and that means we never disappear from the maps because of hours. So keep in mind things like that. You don't, every little advantage that you can find, you want to get it. Okay, again, get Google verified. Uh, all Google Business Profiles are getting verified. So if they haven't chased you yet, they will. It's not really something you can opt into. It's when you set up a new one, they're going to do it. And if you've never been verified, eventually they're going to chase you and verify you. So, you know, don't initiate it if you don't have to, because they're a pain to deal with. But add photos, post photos from job sites if you can. Again, just engage with it, put content in it. Google loves its own stuff the most, and the more love you show to Google's properties, the more love Google will show to your Google property. That's just how they work. And then when you do that, keep an eye on your performance. So as you post more photos and you do more engagements and things like that, see how it impacts, how much you show up in results and things like that. You should see a positive correlation. And, it's an encouragement to keep doing those things, because it will help you get better results. Okay. And then respond to reviews. So Google does consider that a factor. If you don't respond to reviews, they don't like that. And you will get a little bit dinged for not responding to reviews. So make sure you respond to that. Building citations, we've already talked about this. Unless it's a brand new Google Business Profile, you've probably already built citations to it, or any marketing company that you've worked with has done that. But if you change your address, you have to update all of those. Or if you open a new location and you have a new Google Business Profile, you're going to need to have citations for that new one. And it is something that we recommend now. This has changed a little bit from the past, where you were able to get away with a service area business. The proximity effect is so strong now that we really do recommend getting an address, getting an office, even just a sales office. And you can get a small, 500 to 1,000 square foot sales office. You can put up your signage. It can even be just like a suite in, one of those big office buildings. Not a Regis. You can't do that kind of like shared office space. But just find, a cheap office smack dab in the middle of the area that you want to rank, set up that office. It's so much easier to verify because a lot of times what Google's doing now is requiring video verification, where you on your phone is going to have to go walk and show a video demonstrating your location, showing your signage, showing you getting access to the location. And when you do that, they'll verify you. And then bam, you've got, 15 miles, 15 square miles around that you have a good opportunity to rank in the map. So if you have a large service area, and typically paving companies you will, you don't have to do this in rural areas necessarily, but if you want to get the commercial jobs in the city, obviously you don't want to chase down every driveway that's in the city in a congested area. I understand that. But to get the commercial jobs, to get the parking lots, to get, the things like that, you may want to have three, depending on how big the city is, three locations in the city where, you are covering the entire city with your three locations. So you have like one on one corner, one on the other corner, one on the other corner, or whatever, where they don't overlap, but you can cover the whole city with your Google Business Profile locations. That's going to be the optimal strategy towards getting coverage for that whole city. It should be ROI positive because the number of calls you get after you've built these up over time, it should more than pay for itself every year. And it's the best approach for winning the maps going forward. And when you do that, you have to build citations for each one of these new locations. And the best way to do that is just to use something like an aggregator. So something like Newstar or Axicom. There's three or four main ones here. I think these are it. But these will let you kind of in bulk set up your citations for that location, and that should be all you need. You don't need to use something like Yext. You can use that tool, but there's really no reason to pay month after month once you have them set up. They don't get hijacked or things like that. That doesn't really happen. It can happen, but not enough to justify, um, spending month over month or something that's kind of one and done. There's plenty of tools for this. Bright Local we use. White Spark is a good tool. Moz Local can do something like that too. Um, so just keep that in mind. Make sure your citations are done and correct and match your current address, and that's really all you need to do unless you open a new address. And at that point, then you've got to do more. And then just get reviews, as many reviews as you can. Leverage tools. The best thing you can do, because everybody's kind of used to, the text and the phone, and the emails. We have tools that will automate this for you if you'd like. Best thing you can do is have someone in your office pick up the phone and call the customer after the job, make sure it went well, make sure they're satisfied with it, everything was good, and then ask them, hey, if you're satisfied, if I can send you a link to leave us a review, it would really help us out. They know that. Most of them still won't do it, but your highest chance at conversion is making the phone call and asking for it, and that's really all you can do. Okay, so like I said, there's lots of tools for this. And how these reviews help, just to kind of summarize and get near the end here to wrap it up. Think about how you shop for things. If you're looking for like a new plumber, for example, you're going to Google it. You're going to look at who's closest to you with the most and best reviews, and that's who you're going to call. That's it. Sometimes people, depending on how finicky you are, you may look at three or four or five, but really you just want to find what you think is the best one and give them a call. Now paving, a little more so because they tend to be bigger projects. Oftentimes, people want to get a couple estimates first before they move forward. It's a little different than like a smaller job, but even considering that, you still need to get in those top three spots. And the way you do that is by getting the most reviews that you can. Because what will happen is the more reviews you have, the more clicks and click throughs you're going to get. And the higher your click through rate is, the better you're ranked. So it's kind of like the chicken and the egg, right? You get reviews, you get more click throughs, you get more, visibility, then you get more views, you get more click throughs. It's just a positive reinforcement cycle. So out of anything you can do to help yourself, the best thing you can do is to get more reviews. Okay. Um, I think we pretty much covered these. The special SEO local ranking factors, proximity is number one. You're only going to be able to do much, within about 15 miles of the center of your address. for your Google business profile. You want to be relevant, so you want to have local content on your site. This is content written like about landmarks or like local events, local historical sites, whatever. But just things that indicate that, you know, your business is relevant to this particular area. Okay. And then prominence. And this goes to, interviews on TV, links from local news sites, Chamber of Commerce, right? All these things help show your authority and your trustworthiness, which, is one of the key driving factors for Google in determining who they want to show in the maps. Okay. So that's all I want to say about this today. If you'd like to learn more about this and you want to see how you're doing compared to your competitors, we'll put together a free report for you and we'll kind of go through and show you how you're doing compared to them. Go to pavingmarketers.com/apply-now. Sign up for the call. We'll make that report for you. And it's not just about maps. It's about your overall visibility. It's like who's running ads in the area. It's a bunch of different stuff. We'll go through all of it with you. You can also just go to our website and go to pavingmarketers.com. There's a little widget or whatever in there that'll let you run your maps, show you how you're ranking over in the area. And of course, you can just give us a call or go to pavingmarketers.com/apply now and set up a call with us. We'd love to talk to you and see kind of how you're doing and how we might be able to help you. And so that's all for today. Thanks for joining, and we will talk to you next time.